Hey y'all, and welcome back to day 43 of my 100-day challenge. If you're just now joining me, my name is Dayana. I'm an operations and growth strategist, and I help small female business owners and entrepreneurs to build six-figure businesses and beyond through building high-performing teams and automating their systems and processes. So let's get into it. So I want to talk a little bit about today, the real ROI of emotional intelligence as a CEO. I know we've been going over having that CEO mindset and whatnot, but I feel very confident and feel some type of a way because I've seen leaders that don't have very good emotional intelligence. And if you don't have great emotional regulation as a CEO, that will translate into your company being very dysfunctional. If you're always acting off of emotion, and rather that's good or bad emotion, it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster. So we want to eliminate that as much as possible. So let me just start off with a quick example. So I had a team member, it was one of my assistants actually, and she would she was just not very timely. She would get an attitude and things like that. And I had to check myself because I was like, whoa, we cannot do this. But I also understand that people go through different things. And so I initially wanted to just let her go because I was like, we're not going to have this like type of dynamic. This is very toxic energy, not doing it. But then I also realized, okay, maybe no one has told her how she's acting. Maybe she's not aware of how she's coming across. So it's my job as a leader to make her aware of that. And then if changes don't come from it, great. So one of the things that I did was I had a conversation with her. Instead of just letting her go, I had a conversation. I asked her kind of what was going on. And turns out there were some personal things that were going on that were really bad in her home life that she was kind of bringing into work. And I prefer people to separate that. And I encourage you to separate work and home life as much as possible, but we're human. And sometimes things are just going to intermingle even unintentionally. And so when she told me that, I was like, okay, thank you for letting me know. Please continue to communicate with me because I want to know what is going on. I don't need to know all the details, but if you are struggling mentally, emotionally, let me know because if so, we can have you to work from home some days. We can figure out some type of situation so that way it's not so cumbersome on you at this time with everything that you're going through. So I was really happy because after I did that, it was a complete 180. She realized that I cared about her. She realized that she wasn't just a number, like she wasn't just doing tasks, like she actually mattered to me. And that's how I like for all of my team members to feel. So make sure that you're setting that example by checking your own emotions and regulating that as a CEO. And your nervous system is really your leadership board. So when it's dysregulated, you react instead of lead. And I was in a position at that time where I saw other people that were just reacting. They weren't leading. They were just very overly emotional. They would go off of their emotions and act off of their emotions. And it was just not efficient. And it was honestly taking down the team and the morale and everything like that very, very quickly. Morale is something that is difficult to build, but is easy to kind of get rid of just like that in the blink of an eye. It's almost like trust. And so you want to continue to make sure that you're self-regulating the entire time, regardless of what's going on. Even if you're the leader, there was one time that I felt like I kind of like spazzed for a second and I was just like, whoa, like, and I was kind of in a tizzy and that's not normally like me. And the leader at that time was like, whoa, you're the leader. What are you doing? Like, why are you acting this way, etc. And I was like, no, you're right. And I'm glad that he checked me at that time because I wasn't even aware. I allowed the team members who were also in a tizzy to get me in a tizzy. And it's like, that is not necessary. So making sure that you are keeping as minimal of stress as possible because that is going to help you to think with a level head. Oftentimes when we get into stressful situations, we start acting out of emotion and making rash hiring and firing decisions. I've seen people that did that where it was just like, hey, as soon as they did one thing, they're gone. And it's like, maybe you should take a step back, figure out where they are, figure out what they're struggling in, care about the person versus just the task, and figure out, okay, is this a character issue, or is this they have a lot of stuff going on at home and it's just a rough period of time for them and they need extra support. I understand there's extenuating circumstances. Sometimes, yes, you cannot help every single person with all their circumstances, but also we all deserve grace. And so that's all that I ask, is just try to keep a level head, because chronic stress will often lead to poor client boundaries as well. So if you're extremely stressed, you're going to allow them to overstep those boundaries again and again and again and again. And then you're just going to get burnt out. And then you're going to be overworking. You're going to start underpricing yourself and undercutting yourself, because you're just going to want to serve. And there's nothing wrong with serving, but you just have to figure out what those boundaries are going to be for you, because self-regulating your emotions is going to set you apart from other better leaders. There are great leaders across all businesses, but what's going to set them apart is how they can act and react when their emotions are high. I've seen amazing leaders that if they're thinking with a level head, great. As soon as they start acting off of emotions, it is a disaster and things go literally down the hole so quickly. So I want us to think of a simple tool, and this is a tool that actually I use to help me to regulate my emotions when things are running a little bit higher for me. So what I like to do, a couple of things. I like to do walking meetings. So if I'm on the phone, if it's a Zoom call, sometimes I'll be on my like walking pad, sometimes I won't be. It just really depends. But I love to do walking meetings. If I'm on the phone, I will literally just go take a walk around the neighborhood, because it helps me to like relieve nervous energy, relieve stress, think clearly. I'm just kind of aimlessly walking. I know the path that I'm walking around. Sometimes I even walk inside where I live. Like I'll just walk around, because there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with just walking around your apartment, casually holding a conversation, whatever. It keeps you moving, keeps you engaged, has me focusing on something else. Another thing that I like to do is box breathing. So I normally do the 4-4-4-4 method. And that's you breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold for 4 seconds, you breathe out for 4 seconds, you hold for 4 seconds, and then you continue to repeat that. So it's like, sorry, I literally got off of it. But anyways, you get the point. I kind of like zoned out for a second. But anyways, those are the things that I like to do, is to have that box breathing, because that will help you to also be able to do a body scan. So think about what you're feeling, think about what you're hearing, what you're sensing, all of those things, and make sure that you are checking in with yourself before you make any big decisions. Because oftentimes if we're just thinking just with our head, or we're just thinking off of our emotions, we're going to act very quickly, and then afterwards we might start feeling like a gut feeling or a lump in our chest, because we may have made the wrong decision and we didn't realize it, because we were just so like in a mode of just going, let's make this decision, let's get it over and done with. That's not the right mentality to have. So I would encourage you to take a step back, think through it a little bit more before just like, oh, this is what we're doing. That's it. That's what we're doing. I want you to feel at peace afterwards. And the worst thing you can do is after you make a decision, have instant regret. I don't want you to have instant regret, because that is the worst feeling. I've been there, I've done that, and it is not fun. So I also want to touch on briefly why calm does not equals passive. Calm is very powerful, it's focused, and it's trusted. And so I've actually gotten compliments on just being a very calm person and a calm individual. And people can't tell when I can't be easily affected, or if I am, I don't show it. And that's one of the things that's just a testament to when you are a good leader, being able to check your emotions and being able to show up as your best self, even when you're not feeling 110%. It doesn't matter. I would go into work and I would still have a smile on my face, a song in my heart. I would still be encouraging everyone else. No one could really tell when I was hurting, when I was depressed, when I was suffering, or anything like that. No one could tell. And that's kind of how you want it to be as a leader. It's okay to show frustration. It's okay to show some level of emotion, but it's also okay to be calm. Calm does not mean that you're a passive person. Calm means that you're level-headed. You're thinking through things logically, and your emotions are not going to determine your decisions, which is ultimately what you want. And then trust the ripple effect. I will say regulated CEOs that I've seen create stable cultures, and that overall reduces team anxiety and boosts their performance. So just know that by you doing what you're doing, you're setting your company up and your team up for success by regulating your emotions and by making sure that you're regulating your emotions. That's going to help your company to scale. This all continues to lead into a ripple effect of you being able to scale your business efficiently and effectively. So continue to think about that and keep that top of mind when you are like in a tizzy and things are not going well. Start journaling, go on a walk, do whatever you need to do to kind of relieve that nervous energy and that stress, because I don't want that to lead you down a path of destruction for your company, because ultimately we are here to scale. We are not here to fail. So I hope that you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all tomorrow.